So I want to have a word about this ongoing saga with Twitter and Elon Musk. Now, before I get into that, in case this isn't obvious by now, I am not the sharpest tool in the drawer. Much of this stuff is far over my head, way out of my intellectual pay grade. And if I don't know something, typically speaking, I shut the fuck up. I don't like looking stupid, and I especially don't like making myself look stupid. Makes no sense. But there are some unusual things about Elon coming out that I want to talk about. Not so much him, more so his persona around the Twitter saga. Because in the absence of Trump, at least in the Twitter sphere anyway, Elon is now the internet's whimsical troll, and hence so naturally also the arch nemesis of the left. And so the polarization of the whole affair makes it very difficult to find unbiased news about the situation. It's either yay Elon or fuck off Elon camps. And I myself, I try to be as objective as I can, even if I am openly pro-Elon. He's a countryman after all, but I have no stake in the story other than the humor because it is all quite funny. But having said that, and this is not a slight against any particular content creator, but there's definitely a fair few who have adopted this mindset. Because the other quality that he has sort of cultivated in the absence of Trump is the QAnon sort of cult of personality of the strategic genius. That Elon can never do any missteps. Everything that has happened to him, he has predicted. He is always 5 moves ahead of everyone else. He is the Grand Uber Pubah of the 4D chess game, because he is just that much of a damn genius. I'm not saying he isn't smarter than Trump, I think he clearly is, but the longer the saga goes on, the more twists and turns in the tale, the more that looks increasingly unlikely and unhinged. I'm not saying it is impossible. I think if anyone can pull it off, it is undoubtedly going to be him. But again, unlikely. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I have to eat my words if he does pull off something, because again, hilarious and the funnies. But speaking of the funnies, the most amusing thing that has come out of this is the lawsuit. Because if we remember a couple of months ago, there was the poison pill strategy employed against this man to stop his encroachment on the business. Now, those same people are suing him to buy it. What the fuck? Oh, God, you can't make this shit up. Now, the main thing that pumped the brakes on the whole affair was the bot count being under 5%, and the suspicion was that it is not, and I agree, I think it is overwhelmingly over 5%, supposedly. I say supposedly because who the hell knows what is going through Elon's mind? I'm quite sure that he doesn't know. Half the time I think he's just making it up on the fly, just doing so for the lulz. But then other people speak very highly of his inhumane work ethic, so I am less prone to believe that, but he does seem to be enjoying it all, mainly pointing out that they wouldn't tell him the real bot count, but now they have to do so in the court. But there's a few things that Elon could clear up, some aspects of this that does make him look a bit two-faced, saying that Twitter is the de facto town square, it is of importance for civilization, and that he doesn't care about the economics at all. Those were his exact words, actually, only for him to be concerned about the bot count, him wanting to make it a profitable venture via the subscription service. This can seem a tad hypocritical, but here's my take on that. He has managed to bait his way into the company's secrets via his fuck you money. It would have been a breach of fiduciary duty if the company didn't listen to the shareholders who seem to be in favor of the deal. It is far more than the company is worth, especially now that it's been hemorrhaging value, almost $20 less in the share that he was offering. If his strategy was to make Twitter show their hand, or rather to show they refuse to show their hand and therefore look really, really shady, I think that was executed masterfully because it very much appears to be the case. And like I said before, now he is memeing about them having to show the information in court that they were reluctant to show before. Or it could be that the company is even less influential than it appears on paper with the bot count, and for all I know, Twitter could be another legal trouble for frauding advertisers for years. I don't know if that's possible, but I've had my thoughts on that one for a while. Up until they pitched the idea of suing Elon to buy the company, and I thought, okay, well, that one doesn't cut the mustard anymore. Another one, and this is just my opinion, I think it was a power move to flex his brains, because buying this obviously fraudulent, deceitful gig at 54.20, not saying it makes him look like a sucker, but it potentially can. Whereas him baiting them with the fuck you money and then putting them into a corner and tightening the screws, that makes him look like a crafty gentleman and not someone to play around with. That is a good psychological play in my book. But Twitter has come out and has pulled off some unusual moves that I can't quite finger as to why. Mainly that they fired about 30% of their HR and I think 2 executives. What I don't get is why, because this sabotages the company in a manner that would put Twitter in potentially troubling legal waters, because this move constitutes a material breach of Section 6.1 of the merger agreement. Why the fuck would you do that, knowing you're suing them that will end up in court? What the fuck is the point of that? What do you hope to gain by slashing the company to pieces at a time where this will put you in a precarious legal position when you're suing someone to buy the company? Not only that, this is against a person that has expressed interest in letting go of what they perceive to be redundant staff in the first place. But you are letting them go now and not him, should he hypothetically get the company. Why? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If someone wants to explain that one to me, I would be glad to listen. Because to me, Twitter looks absolutely schizophrenic at this point, and this whole saga is still going to throw us a few more spinners before it reaches a conclusion. And that is all for today. I will see you all next time.